racist concerns while Seattle burns. Does requiring study on racist claims mean Seattle is on the side of flames? If you're hoping to become a lieutenant in Seattle's fire department, you'd better brush up on your social justice reading material. You'll be able to read it by the light of all the burning buildings. According to the Washington Free Beacon, the lieutenant's exam includes a list of required reading assigned by the city's HR department. Among them, How to Be an Anti-Racist, Both Sides of the Fire Line, a memoir of a transgender firefighter, and a leader's guide to unconscious bias. Strangely absent from the reading list, though, is the classic How to Put Out a Fire Without Burning to Death. That would help. Typically, the written exam for the lieutenant position includes technical knowledge relevant to the job, like understanding building construction, medical techniques, and fire suppression strategies. And most importantly, how to make a kick-ass breakfast. Yeah. But it all begs the burning question, what does wokeness have to do with putting out fires? It's the same question many in the Seattle firefighting community are asking. Turns out the department is over 90% white men. And that's a problem for the diversity-obsessed people at the Seattle Department of Human Resources. They're even concerned that some of the Dalmatians don't have enough black spots. That's a weird reaction.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Those local officials, including Seattle's own fire chief, say they want more women and minority firefighters, and they believe the best way to do that is by testing candidates' amorphous qualities of character rather than tangible competencies. So good luck, Seattle. From now on, Seattle's best will only refer to mediocre coffee. Yeah. Well. Kat, do you think women have been held back from these firefighting positions, or do you think certain types of people become firefighters?
I'm not going into a burning building. And I don't think if I showed up and like I was the person trying to get you out, people would be like, It's just so weird, like, what they decide to teach you. Even, like, didn't we all learn, like, stop, drop, and roll, like, as kids? Like, I have not used that once. Like, I grew up thinking I was going to be catching on fire, like, all the time, you know? But a lot of these texts, I mean, people don't really realize what are in a lot of these texts. Like, Kendi, for example, calls for a U.S. Department of Anti-Racism, which would monitor speech for racist content, whatever that is or isn't.
Oh, Kendi, the author of the anti-racist book.
Yes. To the extent that there'd just be this massive surveillance state, even more than the one that we have now, in order to make this possible, and also like a complete destruction of the First Amendment. So I think that people say, oh yeah, okay, this, without realizing maybe what they're actually saying, or maybe they do realize it, and I don't know which one's worse, honestly.
Great point made in such an incisive way, Kat. You're always looking for the libertarian angle, and it's so true that all of these liberal policies, they involve big government in a big way. Tyrus, obviously, certain people are drawn to certain professions. Professional wrestling, although there's many women wrestlers, and you're looking at me like, Shalou, stop talking and let me...
Yeah. Because I'm going to be honest, if I'm in a house and it's on fire, I don't care if he's the color of a baboon's ass, just get me out. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the dumbest... I'm in the house, it's burning, he opens, the firefighter kicks in the door, and the heat blows his shirt off, and he has a Confederate flag tattoo on his chest. I'm not gonna be like, I'll wait for someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
This is absolutely the dumbest. There's a reason why white men tend to be firefighters, because they're the only ones, for some reason, and I had friends like that in college, they're the only ones that want to investigate. You see it's culturally, brothers, we don't investigate. Every horror movie, click, a sound, a twig breaks, you two be like, huh, let's go see what that is. That mindset, I'm gonna run into a fiery building and get people out. You go. There needs to be more white men doing that. I'm proud of you. Keep it up.
Yes.
I'll make breakfast.
Dr. Drew, is this? I mean, I feel like it's got to turn at some point. Are we reaching critical mass with this thing where everyone's getting sick of it?
It's going to get ridiculous when Kat shows up to carry somebody out, to carry Tyrus out of the building.
Right.
Right? Because
Just let me go.
that's where we're headed, right? I'm going to go a little contrarian here. If they're going to have lots of trans hires and diversity hires, these people in management positions better be familiar with this stuff. So if they're going to be consistent all the way across the board, yeah, educate yourself and figure it out. I just don't want Kat showing up to carry me out of a burning building. And when that happens, there'll be a big lawsuit, and this whole thing will turn around.
Well, that's what you're saying is if you were advising them, they would have to learn this stuff because they're going to get sued and they're going to have to deal with it. Is that right?
If they're not aware of it, and these are their employees that they're managing, yes, they can get in trouble if they're not aware of this stuff.
Yeah.
Seems to me.
Dagan, I worry that this kind of thing, the worst part of this is it's going to drive away the people who are attracted to these kind of jobs. You know, the wokeness in the military, young men who want to be military guys, they're like, I don't want to deal with that stuff. So we're going to drive away the very people that we're supposed to be attracting to these jobs.
Seattle will drive them away and drive them into cities who give a and then pyromaniacs will move to Seattle. So let the firebug that once lived next door to me that tried to burn my building down move to Seattle. So yay, New York gets safer. Kat is selling herself short. She might not run into the building, but that woman has a phone full of names, coast to coast. She's got more best friends on the planet. She's got people she's going to call to rescue you out of that building. I digress.
But could you imagine? Why did you let the school burn down? I was triggered.
Right. But the goal... But these texts that Kat was talking about, the goal of the warriors of left-wing nuttery is to burn the system down. Yeah. This is how you do it. You hire and promote people with no knowledge of water.
Yeah.
And I don't mean the 3 guys I dated from age 18 to 22.
So I mean... You think it is? You think it's by design that this is all part of? It's all part of the project.
Help, firemen, firemen! It's not my pronoun. Not coming in.
Fire person.
You're gonna have to get rid of the word fireman's got to go away.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to get rid of the word fireman.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.